What's up, Dragon Ball Super players? It's Logan here from Crossworld TCG, and today I'm featuring my Ultimate Form Golden Frieza Deck Profile. This leader's really cool, but he hasn't seen a lot of play since Set 2 with the, advent of Mecha Frieza and SS3. He's kind of been pushed out of the way, but this leader's really cool because you're able to sack a Frieza's Army battle card on your field to draw one card and to untap one energy. So it's very similar to that starter deck Goku from forever ago, and where it allows you to play and not tap out, which is really cool and really important in today's format. Going on to the main card that I was featuring in this deck that I really based this whole thing around was Dimension Support Trunks. Now this is a really cool battle card that came out of Set 4. It allows you to over round 3, pay 1 energy, and to play basically a vanilla card from your deck and give it critical for the turn. So it's really cool. You get to summon this guy, bring out your APPULE, and then your APPULE gains critical for the turn. And then once you swing with your APPULE, you can use Frieza's ability to destroy him off, to draw a card, and then also restand an energy. So you get to put a lot of pressure on with 1 energy, and then immediately get that energy back, which I think is a really cool interaction. So we're playing 4 Dimension Support Trunks and 4 copies of APPULE. I just like APPULE better than Sui. I think this guy's cooler. He's got that nice head. But we're going to move on. Next, we're going to play some Frieza's Army support cards. The main one, of course, being Avenging Frieza. The best Scry card in the deck, the best 1-drop in the deck. Gets you to your super combo, gets you to every other thing in your deck, and then you can destroy him to draw 1 card. So this really lets you cycle energy really fast, or cards and energy really fast in the early game, which is really cool. I really wish that we had some better 2-drops that we could search off of this, because right now it's kind of shaky. We got some cool 1-drop blockers, the super combo, and of course this guy if you have to, but really I wish that we had something like the Sister Attack Kale, where you could swing. It's a 2-drop, 1 yellow, 1 colorless Frieza, or Frieza's Army. It doesn't necessarily have to be Frieza. That if you control a Frieza's Army in your battle area, when it swings, you get plus 5k draw a card. I think that'd be fantastic. Or even maybe an Awakening card, because this deck can struggle with that sometimes. Originally, this deck, forever ago, was playing Results of Training along with every other color, because it can get stuck. But now and today, we have so many Awakening options that it's not really needed. Continuing on, we're a little bit scuffed here at Crossworld TCG. So I personally don't own 4 Ginyu Force Guldo. I was looking through my stuff, I swore I had 4, but I only have 3. But realistically, these do the same things, except this guy's a little bit better right now because he can rest those blockers so that you can kill them. So preferably you just play 4 Guldo, but Sorbet does the job too. He's a blocker, so it's kind of cool. And these guys are, again, scryable off of your Avenging Frieza. That's the main reason we play them. They are yellow energy, which is necessary. So like you search your energy, draw a card, and then you have energy for the next turn. Or if you need it, you can play defensively and use that energy you untap to play the blocker. If you're playing against like some aggro deck and you don't want them to actually hurt your life. Moving on, we play our 4 Midoriya super combos. These cards are great. Again, scryable off of your Avenging Frieza, so it's really cool. Standard 10k, draw 1. Great super combo. And then we have 4 Destructive Occupation Frieza. This card's really cool. It's like that combo Gohan. Unfortunately, in this deck, it doesn't gain as much utility because we can't play Flute, but I still thought it was valuable because you can swing with this card, play it, and then because your leader untaps energy, you can use this as a defensive option for the following turn. Or, if you need to, you can summon it during your turn for 1 energy, and then on his Awakened side, you can destroy him to untap 2. So in that way, it's kind of like a bean if you don't have any other Frieza's cards. So I thought this card was definitely worth playing. And aside from that, 15k bodies, really strong. And then, for my last 2 Frieza cards, I play 2 Mecha Frieza, the Returning Terror. The card's really cool. When it comes into play, you can place 1 card from your hand to drop. If you do so, you're choose up to 2 of your opponent's battle cards in rest and KO them, and then it gains double strike for the turn. So this potentially, it's kind of small for a 4-drop, only 15k, but it swings for dual attack double strike, which is really, really cool. And that's like basically the big bomb of the deck in later turns. This format's kind of fast, so I didn't want to play any of the other Frieza, the big drop Friezas. I couldn't see a game going that long. So I opted just to play what I think is the best 4-drop in this deck. And then moving on to some of the yellow defensive cards that I play, I like an 8 count for this format right now, especially for a deck that can play Cold Bloodlust. You gotta play a certain number of it, but playing 3 Master Roshi, Forged of Will, and then 2 Nimbus, and then 3 Cold Bloodlust. I think all these cards are great. Roshi is especially good because in this deck there's quite a few 10k combos, or 1 10k combos. So the fact that you have a negate that can also function as just a 5k when you need it is really cool. Nimbus, obviously, for when your opponent goes for those big pushes, but you don't necessarily always want to see this. Like, if you wanted to negate just one attack, Roshi is always better. And then, of course, we're playing a Frieza's Army deck, or a Frieza's Army leader, so we get to play Cold Bloodlust, one of the best cards in the game. Seen a little less play recently because it's lost a little bit of its utility with Veggies not being around, but still a very good card, especially if you're playing against a red deck and they drop Foreseeing Hit on you. And now, moving on to my red engine, I play 4 Unbreakable Super Saiyan Son Goku, 4 Destructive, Furthering Destructive Champa. So both of these cards I think are really good. Again, they're 1 10Ks, which is kind of eh, but the fact that this will draw you a card on the defense, I felt warranted playing it over any other red card, and realistically I needed some amount of red energy, as you'll see later, because we have red cards that we do want to play. And then the Champa is really cool because you can use it with, you know, your vanilla combo that you have to give this double strike crit for the turn. So you get to swing with this, maybe pump the Trunks into it, and then you can pump a Champa into it. And then if you're on the Awakened side, you untap both energies, so you got to swing for basically, what is it, 30k double strike crit, and then gain cards. Like, it's pretty cool. And then moving on to more of the battle-focused red cards, play 4 Intensifying Power Trunks. Really solid Self-Awakening card. Again, has that critical, so it gains value from having the Champa. Really good card overall. I don't think this card needs too much explanation. Denies your opponent advantage while getting you advantage. And then, moving on, play 2 more Awakening cards, 2 Digging Deep Vegeta. While I was testing, I found that the 4 Intensifying Power Trunks was not enough sometimes, and this guy has a really low red cost to awaken, so, you know, easy to play, which is really cool, and allows you to make more of big tempo swing plays on the turn because he has multiple attacks. If there was a yellow card that was also a Frieza's Army that did the same thing as him, obviously I'd be playing it over that, but since there's not, I think that the Digging Deep is a little better than the yellow Son Goku, just because, worst comes to worst, this is energy if I don't need it, and it's a red energy for, you know, my Intensifying Power Trunks, which I think is worth getting to at any point in the game. And then for the last 2 cards, just a couple more defensive cards, a couple more red cards that you can charge, just 2 Bodyguard Legic. I think it's just a really good card. If you go second, this helps a lot. And you're playing a little bit of a slower deck, so as I showed, I played a bunch of negates, and then I think this is literally just the 48th and 50th card in the deck that I was like, these are pretty good for defense, and they're also red. So I think it's worth playing. So that's it for my deck profile. Ultimately, I think this deck is really cool. It does a lot of neat things. Dimension Support Trunks, I think, is one of the coolest cards we got out of set 4. And really, I wanted to try putting him in a deck that wasn't blue, because, you know, everyone's building blue decks right now just because it's the easiest thing to do. And really throwing this into any blue deck doesn't take away from the blue engine at all. So I felt like putting him in a different deck would be cool to try out, and this leader is really cool, really unrepresented. I think it could potentially see some more play if things change in the current meta, or if we get some better Frieza cards. I'm really hoping for that. But either way, it's a little bit of a slower deck. I mean, you play a lot of low drops, but it's still slow. I mean, it doesn't have the energy ramp that SS3 does. It doesn't have the insane draw power that Hirudegarn does. So overall, I think this is a fun rogue deck that you could take to locals and do well with it. Maybe not the most competitive deck, but definitely a really cool proof of concept deck. I hope you guys enjoyed this deck profile. Feel free to take this list, do whatever you want with it, tweak it. Give me your thoughts on this deck below, because I really like this deck a lot, and I think that we can improve it maybe a little more. I think it's in a good spot right now. It's very, you know, standard build, staple stuff, playing all the good cards that we have access to right now. But give me your thoughts below, and also stay tuned for more content here at Crossworld TCG.